Hello everyone and welcome to one of the more impressive chess puzzles I've seen in a while. It was presented to me 2 days ago by my brother-in-law. He sent it to me and he said, win this position. But there was already a move being hinted, G captures on H7. And I told him, why am I solving this? It's already telling me it's G captures on H7. And he said, nope, that's only highlighted because the engine thinks that is the strongest move. And in fact, if you allow the engine to crunch the numbers here, if you feed this position into an engine, the engine will say, yes, G captures on H7 and G captures on F7 are the two top moves, and the position is objectively a draw. And what I mean by this is I've allowed the engine to crunch the numbers. I've used Stockfish 16 on chess.com at the depth 64. I've allowed it to crunch it up to depth 64. It would take too long to go beyond that, and it was unable to produce a solution. And I've also used the leeches, and once I've loaded it up to leeches, it already had it analyzed up to depth 70 as it uses cloud analysis. So someone has already fed this into leeches, and it produced 0 results. So the engine cannot solve this. Now, if you have an access to, let's say, a supercomputer, maybe you can go to depth 100, or you pay. There are websites where you can pay actually for them to analyze up to depth 99. Maybe a solution will be provided. But if you cannot do that, then you have to use the old-fashioned way, and that is to look at the position and think about the moves. Now, it's actually a forced checkmate in 12. It's actually a forced checkmate in 12, and the solution is quite outstanding. The last time I was this impressed by a position was when I've shown you that game by Broekelen, Gies van Broekelen, the Dutch composer, that no one could solve. The engines couldn't solve it. Michael Tal was the only one who was able to figure out a solution. And if you haven't seen that problem, it also maybe a nice find for you will be the first link in the description below. I think that video has over like 2 million views, so chances are you've seen it, but if not, you are one of the lucky few that will have a great day ahead of you. But let's stay with this one. Now it's white to move and win the game. Have at it while I give you a couple of seconds. Take as much as you want. Also, if you're wondering why is there an image of Veselin Topalov here, I would just want to put something that will further distract you in solving this. So sorry about that. And like I said, my brother-in-law sent this to me the day before yesterday, and I was looking at the position, and okay, I got a certain idea of how it could happen, but I wasn't precise. But then yesterday, he came over with his family, and then his son and myself, we were, trying to solve it, and then eventually we figured out a solution, but it took a combined effort plus some hints. So it's not an easy position. Feel free to pause the video, print it out, carry it, to school, to work, where you work out, look at it, share it with your friends. It's something that should not be solved with an engine, and luckily it cannot be solved with an engine. So it's just something that you figure out, and then you have it with you for the rest of your life, and you can impress your friends wherever you go. This is one to keep for you forever, wherever you go. So if you guys are ready, I will present the solution, but if not, again, pause the video and try and do it yourselves. So for those of you who were not able to do it, join the club. And for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations, as this is one of the more difficult solutions that we had on the channel pretty much ever. And well, I will now present the solution. So the idea is that the solution that the engine gives, G captures on H7 or G captures on F7, simply does not work, because black goes king to H8 and you really have nothing better. You can capture the knight, but once black starts checking, that's it. You're not going to win this game. It's still a draw. Black will not win this, but it's not any sort of an elegant solution. King G4, you can continue checking, or you can capture the pawn. So there is no win here. However, after all of this has been seen, there is a move that allows us to checkmate the black king, and that is bishop to c7. Truly one of the nicer moves that we've had in a while, and I mean, what an incredible idea. You're sacrificing the queen, but let's say black doesn't take the queen. Let's say black plays knight captures on c7. Black says, all right, I don't care, my queen is defended. What do you play here? Well, now the trick is G captures on f7 check, and the queen is pinned, so you cannot capture the queen. And it doesn't matter if you go to h8 or to f8, queen captures on c7. Of course, if you go to h8, then you capture the queen, but if king here, queen captures on c7, and there are no checks for black. No useful checks. If you move the queen along the e file, just a nice queen to c8 will be checkmate once the black queen sacrifices itself. Or if you try to keep control of the back rank, then anything really, just a nice queen to e7 checkmate will suffice. So that cannot happen. So that's why after bishop to c7, you are threatening queen captures queen, and you have to capture the queen. If you try something like king to f8, of course, just g7 check, king g8, and queen captures will be checkmate. So the queen must be captured. After bishop to c7, queen captures on c8, and now what's the idea? Well, g captures on f7 check now. And of course, if you go to f8, then bishop to d6 is checkmate. So the king has to go into the corner. King to h8, and now comes bishop to e5. And up until this point, we've had it solved. We figured out all of this, and we knew that it had to be something like this. But now the problem is, how does black continue? Of course, now you're threatening to move the king, and this will be checkmate. So for example, if queen comes to d8 with check, you're just going to move the king, king f5, check, and once the queen sacrifices itself, that's just going to be checkmate. So after bishop e5, there is only one move that saves black for the moment, and that is queen to c5. Queen to c5, because now the moves you really want to play, you cannot. The white king has no good squares. The queen now covers the e7 square. Also, the bishop is attacked, so that's not going to work. If you try something like, let's say, king to f5, you deliver a check, we're just going to capture the bishop. And once the king captures queen, king g7 stops promotion, and that's it. So what I figured out here, and at this point I was already, I put my phone down and I was thinking about the position blindfold. I figured the move had to be bishop to a1, because now we transfer the move to black, and whatever black plays, black gives a check, we're just going to checkmate the black king, because if we can play, let's say, king e6, it's just going to be checkmate. But there's a problem with this. Look at this. Knight to c7. And now, look at this. All of the squares around the white king are covered. You cannot move the king, and you cannot deliver checkmate with the bishop. So, okay, then I thought, well, let's just play bishop to b2. We just waste the move, and now whatever black plays, we just checkmate the black king. But no, there's pawn to a4. And I said, all right, let's play bishop to a1. There's pawn to a3, and you no longer have bishop to b2. And I was like, oh man, I was so close, too bad. But the solution was very, very similar. After this queen to c5 move, my idea of bishop to a1 is not correct. The idea is actually bishop to b2. Probably it slipped my mind because I thought, okay, this is just a weird square to place the bishop. The black queen can pick it up, but the black queen can't really pick it up. If you play something like queen to b6 with check, king g5 check, and once the bishop is captured, you're just going to deliver a nice checkmate. The pass pawn completely slipped my mind. So bishop to b2, black will play knight to c7. Okay, you prevent the king from coming to e6, the white king has no squares, but now there's a big difference. Now you play bishop to a1. The move that I played that didn't work, because now wherever black plays, you cannot move the knight because king e6 wins the game, and you cannot move the queen because then you allow the white king all of these squares. So wherever the black queen moves, you will get at least one of these squares, and the one square is all you need. So here, pawn to a4, now you play bishop to b2, and after a3, of course, dreaming of bishop captures on a3, you move the bishop back, bishop to a1. Pawn to a2, now bishop to b2, and pawn to a1, you will capture the queen, and now black truly is in Zugzwang. Well, black was in Zugzwang all along, but now we can understand why that is so. And there are no more moves that black can play. There is one tricky idea, knight to d5 check, but after king to e6 check and knight to c3 blocking the bishop, and the queen guarding the queening square looks very nice, but just bishop captures on c3 with check. You have to capture it, queen captures on c3, and now f8 queen will be checkmate. So truly a spectacular solution to the puzzle. Like I said, if you have an access to a super engine, do feed this into the engine. I really want to know if it can solve it, but the free ones on chess.com and Lichess are unable to do so, regardless of the depth So yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Bishop to c7, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Queen captures, bishop to e5. Sorry, first captures an f7 check, king h8, bishop to e5, queen c5, only possible defense, and now the key move, bishop to b2. Knight c7 first, preventing king to e6. Now bishop a1, a4, bishop b2, a3, bishop a1, a2, and bishop b2. And of course now whatever you play, you just get checkmated. There's nothing to even try. Like I said, if the queen moves, you gain access to any of these squares, and then you free up the check from the bishop. And if the knight moves, you gain access to e6, and that's pretty much it. A fantastic Zugzwang, beautiful, beautiful Zugzwang. And of course, if you try something like pawn to h5, then you no longer have control over g6, and then you can play king to g6. So it's only a matter of freeing up a square for the white king. You have to give up the queen, and that's it. Bishop captures will be checkmate. So truly amazing. Really thanks to my brother-in-law for showing this to me, and I'm more than pleased to be able to present this to you. Hopefully some of you pause the video here and even are watching this after some 2 or 3 months, maybe even a year, because you know, you didn't succumb to the pressure, to the desire, to the temptation, and you actually solved it yourselves. You know, no one can take that away from you. But if not, still it's a good story to tell your friends, and also to, you know, impress them in the bar and the library. And like I said, if you haven't seen the spectacular puzzle by Brookellen that only Tal was able to solve, first link in the description below. Hard to say whether it's easier or more difficult than this one. I guess, you know, different things are of different difficulty to different people. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. Like I said, first link in the description below. If you haven't seen it, it's gonna blow you away. So yeah, that's the puzzle. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank Kevin O'Grady, Rajashi Chowdhury, James Eugene Cashman, BulletChessThriller.com, and Peter I. Billick for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day. And once again, sorry about the close-up of Topalov. I wanted to spice it up. See you soon.